Hi folks, my name is Rohit Madhavarapu from the Health Cloud Product Management team.
Hi, I'm also Mike Weber from the Product Management team for Healthcare and Life Sciences.
And together we are here to share with you what we've built in the Spring 17 version of Health Cloud. Before we get started, a quick note on Safe Harbor. Please make your purchasing decisions based on what's currently available. We may be talking about some forward-looking items in this presentation. So let's get to it. In Spring 17, we had three areas of focus. We built an out-of-the-box risk stratification application that you can view through our Wave Analytics Cloud. Second, we built lead-to-patient conversion. So this allows you to seamlessly convert patients that you've acquired in Sales Cloud or Service Cloud and exist as leads to patients in Health Cloud. And third is advanced patient segmentation. This is a feature that allows you to precisely segment and manage your population that already exists in Health Cloud. Besides this, you'll see a number of improvements, both from a performance perspective and from a Salesforce alignment to core perspective. You're going to see vast improvements as you use Health Cloud in Spring 17. So with that, I'm going to dive into the risk stratification application. So risk stratification is really the mechanism of segmenting your patient population based on a variety of criteria. You might decide that for you, your criteria is that you want to identify the patients that have a number of conditions and maybe they live in an institution. There's really a number of different ways in which you can segment your patient population. We've adopted a standardized risk scoring model called HCC. It's offered by Medicare, stands for Hierarchical Coding Classification, and really looks at a patient's diagnoses that we call EHR conditions in Health Cloud, and looks at a patient's demographics. So how old are they? What gender are they? Do they live at home or in an institution? It looks at all of those different criteria and comes up with a comprehensive risk score. And again, that uses the industry standard HCC model. Note that there are lots of different models available in the market. So there's the ACG model offered by Johns Hopkins, the Charlton Comorbidity Index, maybe models that you've developed on your own. So there's a lot of different ways to risk stratify, and we've used the HCC model. So why is this important? This is really important because as organizations that assume risk for patients, it's really important that you identify who your sickest patients are, provide a targeted care to those patients, and really use that to your advantage in making sure you can take care of all of your patients and reduce unnecessary costs, really take care of them in a way that's financially feasible for your organization. So we know that in the United States, 80% of healthcare spend is incurred by only 20% of the population. So that should tell you really that you need to focus on those 20%, in addition to, of course, all of your patients, but really focus on those 20% patients. And so this risk stratification application helps you identify who those sickest patients are. So we've built the risk stratification application. There's two parts to this. One is the risk scoring algorithm in Health Cloud. It uses the information that's already available in Health Cloud and calculates a risk score. Then that information, along with all of the criteria that helped drive that risk score, is brought into Wave to help you slice and dice. So I'm going to flip over to our demo, and I'm going to show you what our Wave Analytics application looks like to help you slice and dice your risk profiles. So this is our Wave application, and it helps you expose the patient clinical data along with the risk scores. And it helps you do three different things. One is that it helps you slice and dice the information that's on this dashboard. So for example, I can identify patients that maybe fall in a particular risk band. So let's say I want to look at patients that fall in my risk band 3 to 4. So I can do that. What you will see as I'm clicking these buttons is that it's interactive. So as I click a particular filter, it actually adjusts all of the other filters that are pertinent to this particular filter. So what it's showing me now is all of the patients that are in the age group, divided by age group for this particular risk score. So now what you can do is achieve our goal number 2, which is to help you ask questions. So if you realize historically, you've only been able to look at reports, and then if you have questions, you send it back to your analysts, and it takes you maybe 2 weeks to get the answer back, right? And maybe more. Maybe it takes you 2 months to get the data back, which is very common in most healthcare organizations. This tool helps you really get to the answers to your questions very, very quickly. So I can now say, all right, show me my patients that are in the 3 to 4 risk band. And I want to really deep dive into patients that are 65 to 69 years old. These are patients that are maybe just coming into Medicare. So I click on that. And then I can see who those patients are, how many conditions do they have, and if I want, I can slice and dice by additional criteria here. So that's goal number 2, is to help you ask those questions immediately and get answers immediately. And then number 3 is to be able to use this dashboard, take the patients that were generated as a result. So it's showing you here all of the patients that are generated based on your filter criteria. So now I can take this and I can do a number of things. I can download to CSV. So then you can take that list of patients and give it off to your care managers. Or in our next release, which is summer 17, we're going to have a one-click ability to seamlessly send this list into Health Cloud. So then your care coordinators don't have to mess with CSV. All they do is take this patient list, and it will be in Health Cloud just like you use any other patient list, and then follow up with those patients. So all of this is with the goal of helping you identify who your sickest patients are, and then help you provide targeted follow-up for those patients. All right. With that, I'm going to transition over to my colleague, Mike Weber, who's going to share with you the other 2 features that we've built.
Great. Thank you, Rohit. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is our lead to patient conversion enhancement. So for those of you who are familiar with Health Cloud to date, we have lead to patient conversion as something that would have to be done manually. It's not a part of what Health Cloud offers out of the box. Now, folks may be familiar with a capability that we have that uses an object called the candidate patient. And what we found is that based on a lot of customer feedback, which is what we're always looking to get, we have an opportunity now to introduce using lead instead of the candidate patient object. So what this is going to allow customers to do is to get really in depth with an object that many are very familiar with. Leads is a standard object of the Salesforce platform that's been used for many, many years, and now be able to really tie that in to the Health Cloud experience of taking a lead and being able to bring it through the process of converting it to a full patient with a care plan. So why don't I go ahead and instead of just kind of talking about it, I'll show you a bit what this looks like. It's relatively straightforward. So now what I have up here on my screen is a listing of leads. This is a standard leads list view, so something that would be familiar to many of our customers to date. So what we're going to do from this point on is I'm going to just select a number of different leads. And what we've done with Health Cloud is for those who have Health Cloud installed, they will see this Convert to Patient button. And so this allows you to create a lead list based on which one you have. I'm currently looking at all open leads, but I might want to switch or create a new custom view. And I can select those leads. I click Convert to Patient. And at this point, what happens is the system will then prompt me for any kind of duplicates or errors that I might need to take note of. In this case, there were none. And at this point, I can then optionally assign a care coordinator, which is a key part of the care plan function that Health Cloud prioritizes. So in this case, I'll go ahead and select our persona of Abigail Smith. And at this last step, I just get to take a quick look, be sure that this is what I wanted to do. These are the 4 patients I want to convert. I can see their medical record numbers, and I can see who I selected as the care coordinator in case I forgot or stepped away for a moment. Now I can go ahead and convert. And at that point, there are some things that are happening behind the scenes that are great to know about with lead to patient conversion. So it converted those patients. It brought me right back to my current lead lists. Those 4 patients that I just converted are now removed from this list. And what happened behind the scenes is we actually used that convert process to fire off a process builder that we actually packaged in with Health Cloud. So process builder, Lightning Process Builder is a capability that comes with the Salesforce platform. So those who have Health Cloud will have this already installed. And what this is an actual unmanaged package that is able to be installed if you already have Health Cloud. So it just takes the work of creating a Lightning process off of the admin's burden. So that way, all an admin has to do is install this unmanaged package, which is an extension of Health Cloud, and that lead to patient conversion process can function. The other nice thing about using Process Builder for this is that admins now have control over what this process does. We recommend, of course, that these steps that we packaged always be used. However, admins may wish to do additional things in their process. There may be many other things that you wish to trigger or create as a result of converting a lead to a patient. And so this can be modified by customers and tailored to their specific needs. So that's how lead to patient conversion has been set up. And what I'd now like to do is kind of move on to the next capability that I wanted to show you, which is on this slide here, which is our advanced patient segmentation feature. And so what we have to date in Salesforce Health Cloud is an ability to create a list view that's unlike other list views that you might see in the platform. It's different because it allows customers to look at a list of patients across many different objects. So, for instance, I might wish to create a list of patients who have a range of conditions who are in a particular location. And so now with advanced segmentation, we'll be able to do that more easily because I can put together different OR conditions, or I can use different Boolean expressions to describe the different criteria that I want to filter on when I'm creating a patient list. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like now. And what I've done is I've just kind of created a sample patient list for for demonstration purposes here. So in this scenario, what I actually have is I have a list of patients in Evanston who have gestational diabetes, which is a very unusual form of diabetes for women who are pregnant. And the way that I created that list with this new advanced patient segmentation feature is, as you can see here, I first wanted to filter on a number of different mailing zip codes. So these patients are all in Evanston, however, Evanston happens to have 3 different zip codes. So I was able to string together with this logic 1 or 2 or 3, so any of those zip codes qualify, but they all must have this EHR condition. And that's code in healthcare language. That's actually the ICD-10 code for gestational diabetes. And I did a starts with because coding can get very complicated, and so this allows you to actually take just the first part of a code. For instance, with diagnosis codes, you may wish to get a whole number of more granular diagnosis codes that all roll up into that first 3-letter prefix. So that's an example of how patient segmentation can work, and this advanced filter logic can be applied. And these patient lists are available for customization, so I can go and I can edit, I can create as many as I need to, and they're available here in the platform. And when I come back to the patient list the next time, it will automatically load what I was looking at the previous time I was on this patients tab. So those are the 2 features I wanted to show you, and Rohit, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. That was a great presentation. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we've made a number of data model additions in order to support the various features that we enabled in Spring 17. So I wanted to quickly cover those as well. So the objects that are in dark blue are existing objects, but we've added on fields to the individual object. And the ones that are in light blue are the objects that we've added. So we've added the program object that helps you enable your organization to track what programs your organization is a part of. We've added the provider object. The provider object now grabs information from 3 different objects: the EHR practitioner, contact, and the end users, and gets all of that into one single location, which is the provider object. And it ties that information together in the program patient affiliation. So the program patient affiliation is at a patient level, and it helps you track which patient is enabled for which program and which provider is responsible for that program for that patient. So that's the object that ties all of that together. And the program patient summary is where we calculate the risk score. And that's where we store the calculator risk score based on patient's information, as we were talking about earlier. And lastly, we've added on a number of different metadata tables and also an object called condition to HCC code mapping. That's what actually holds the Medicare information that helps us calculate the risk score for the patients. So those are the objects that we've added on as well. And with that, that's all the features we have in Spring 17. Thank you so much for joining us. Mike and I really enjoyed being here to share with you all of the features for Spring 17.
Yes, and we look forward to meeting with you the next time to show you the next round of features in summer. So thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.